2026 is going to be an exciting year. I'm getting ahead of myself. It's only June. No, it's July, sorry. See? All right. The International Energy Agency is set to release a major report evaluating progress since the May 2024 summit on clean cooking in Africa. The report will track implementation of the 2.2 billion in public and private commitments made at the summit and assess where progress is being made and where urgent action is still needed. Executive Director of the International Energy Agency spoke on this and more. Let's take some excerpts.
But before starting my words, let me also welcome the Madam Commissioner. Thank you very much, Madam Commissioner, for coming back to Paris, to IEA, and also Mrs. Kavishe from Tanzania. Thank you very much, the Mrs. Kavishe, for coming to IEA in Paris. Also, I wanted to use this opportunity to thank my colleague Lara Kozi, who is the director of our Sustainability and Technology Office, and with the great team, her great team with Dan Wetzel and the others made an excellent report. And it is a topic that rarely makes the headlines. In the newspapers, in the social media, in televisions, you rarely see this topic to be raised, the clean cooking issue. But in my view, it is one of the greatest injustices in the world. Today, according to our analysis, our report, 1 billion people in Africa, they are preparing their meal on the open fire using wood, dung, and charcoal. This means 4 out of 5 households prepare their meal by using this rather primitive practices. And it has huge implications. First, on health. The fumes coming from preparing meal for the families in Africa, especially by women, it leads to respiratory diseases. And according to our work with the World Health Organization, every year, 800,000 people die prematurely because of the respiratory diseases caused by using this type of cooking practices. And out of this 800,000 people losing their lives prematurely, which is, by the way, the second cause of premature death in Africa, most of them are women and children. So this is at a time when we discuss in other parts of the world how we provide the energy for artificial intelligence or self-driving cars or other issues. This is not acceptable. It is the reason IEA has been working on this since years. It is a health issue. As I mentioned, it is also a gender issue, a woman issue, because many women lose their lives because of this. Plus, we also know that on average, women in Africa spend about 4 hours to collect the wood and bring it back home and prepare the meal. Lots of waste of time instead of putting this time for education, for other social areas. They are focusing on this very issue. And also, cutting the wood means loss of forests in Africa. Forests are natural endowment of those countries. Plus, for Africa, but globally, they also play a role as a sink of the carbon emissions. So putting all together, at the IEA, we believe we have all the reasons as the Global Energy Authority to look at this issue, which is a major, major issue, even though it doesn't attract the headlines. Now, what bothers me, dear colleagues, personally, is that while it is such a dramatic issue, when I compare all the other global energy topics we deal at the IEA, it is very easy to solve. You don't need to discover new technologies, implement the advanced technologies to solve this problem. It is not very expensive. You don't need trillions of dollars. So therefore, this contrast being a huge, dramatic issue, plus the solution of it requires simple policies and existing technologies at a very low cost, is something that we at the IEA point out to governments, to industry, and all international fora. So it is the reason we prepared this report. We are releasing this report. And in our report, basically, we have two main divisions, two main sections. The first one is devoted to the tracking of the major conference we have convened in Paris last year and the money we raised. I expect that many of you might have heard about this very event. Last year, last May, in Paris, we organized a Clean Cooking in Africa summit. More than 1,000 people, more than 60 governments around the world attended the meeting, and I had the honor to co-chair this conference with the President of Tanzania, Madame Suluhu Hassan, and the Prime Minister of Norway, Mr. Jonas Støre. And in that meeting, we have mobilized funds from public and mostly private sector, about $2.2 billion. 2.2 billion US dollars. It is, the meeting was the biggest event organized on clean cooking itself, and the money was at a record level, 2.2 billion. And at that meeting, I said that in 1 year of time, we are going to come back to you, to the international community, all these governments. What happened to 2.2 billion? How much of that money is spent for what? We are going to track that development. And in this report, prepared by my colleague Laura Cozzi and her team, we see that between last May, we had the conference, until today, $470 million of that 2.2 billion has been dispersed, and it has been used in different forms of providing clean cooking in 16 African countries.